I'm going to be talking about models of the brain to help us understand how the brain works. So to kick off, I want to talk about the purpose of models. There was a statistician, George Box, who is quite widely quoted actually in the literature, and he said all models are wrong, some models are useful. And that is something whenever we're talking about models, we need to remember that. Models aren't real, they're human constructs, they're abstractions of reality, and the purpose of the model is not to give us the truth but to help us understand something. I think a model is very useful if it helps us to learn how something works so we can use and practice it, and also a model should help us to predict things. So if I'm sharing with you a model of the brain that is useful about behavior, how people might behave in a certain situation, that model is only useful if actually when we test it out we do find that people behave that way in those circumstances. Models are simplifications. They take things out of context and they focus on one particular aspect. So when we're looking at the brain, for example, we may have a model that's very useful for us to understand our memory and how human memory works, but that model won't be at all useful to help us understand human behavior. As soon as we start looking at the brain, we've immediately taken it out of its context, which is it's connected to our body. So we always, when we're using models, when we're focusing on one aspect of the human body, we need to remember that in reality it's connected to everything else.